our most distinguished guests, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. As His Excellency inspects the guard, permit me to mention that today we are witnessing another milestone in the history of the Nigerian Navy. The commissioning of the permanent site of Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology here in Kachia, Kaduna State. Evidently, the current administration appreciates the nexus between maritime security and national prosperity. Accordingly, the Nigerian Navy, under the current Chief Naval Staff, is being repositioned to play her cardinal role in maritime security architecture of our dear nation.
Coming to you live on the network service of the NTA, the largest TV network in Africa, is a milestone in capacity building of Nigeria's armed forces, particularly the Nigerian Navy. It is the inauguration of Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, Kachia, Kaduna State, Nigeria. I am Benny Adams, your guide on the commentary box. Right about now, we are witnessing the inspection of parade by the special guest of honor in person of the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Malan Nasser Ahmed El-Rufai.
The Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, Kachia, is an offshoot of the Above Water Warfare School, which was an integral part of the Nigerian Navy Ship Forum, also known as the Cradle of Professional Training, which is located in Lagos. The Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, Kachia, was redesignated and relocated to Kachia in 2009 under the watch of the then Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ishaya Iko Ibrahim. The school is involved in training of Nigerian Navy personnel on above water courses such as officers' long course, sub-technical course for young officers, and provide support training for desert warfare and pre-deployment training for the Nigerian Navy Special Boat Service operative in conjunction with the British Military Assistant Training Team. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, just like any institution of its type globally, it was conceived to be the center of excellence in naval research and development, capable of world-class prognostic reports, design, fabrication, manufacturing and testing of weapons, including sensors. The school is also designated as one of the cells of the Directorate of Research and Development of the Nigerian Navy. It was generally agreed on the saying that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, Kachia, also provides support training for desert warfare and pre-deployment training for the Nigerian Navy Special Boat Service operatives. The school also provides training on fire control and quarter armor grades 1 to 3 to the non-commissioned personnel.
The school of the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology is also an offshoot of the above welfare school, which was an integral part of the Nigerian Navy School, Kwara, the cradle of professional naval training located in Lagos. The school was now redesigned and relocated to Kachia in 2009. Kachia is known to be the home of Nigerian Army School of Artillery, NASA, and now the home of Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology. If you like, call Kachia the powerhouse of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Has its core values as integrity, professionalism, as well as teamwork. Talking about integrity, it has a quality of officers and ratings, talking about their men, who must hold steadfast because of what the nation has entrusted on them. Talking about maritime security, the lives of the Nigerian citizens is set to be saved on the waterways. The Nigerian Navy shall therefore maintain the strictest integrity and uphold the confidence that the Nigerian people reposed in it. And in its professional conduct, the maritime environment is set to be safe following the sophistication of naval platforms. The constraints imposed on it under democratic directives and legal framework makes it imperative for it to run an international standard combined to make naval operations more complex than ever before. This demands high professional standards by the Nigerian Navy personnel, which shall not be compromised under any condition. That is the concluding part of the inspection of parade by the special guest of honor, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir Ahmed Rufai, meeting principal officers of the Nigerian Navy, both serving and retired. Like any other institute of its type in the world, the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology is conceived to be a center of engineering, science and technology, as well as innovations, especially with respect to naval weaponry and sensors. Hence, the school has been designated as one of the cells of the Directorate of Research and Development of the Nigerian Navy, as contained in the recently promulgated Nigerian Navy Policy on Research and Development. Hence, what we are witnessing today is a milestone in capacity building of personnel of the Nigerian Navy.
Admiral I.E. Ibas, former Chief of Defense Staff, Admiral I. Ogoyi and Admiral O.S. Ibrahim, former Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral I.I. Ibrahim, Your Royal Highnesses, traditional rulers here present, the Secretary to Kaduna State Government and senior government official on His Excellency's entourage, heads of government, parastatals, and security agencies, principal staff officers from defense and service headquarters, commandants of tri-service institutions, commanders of military formations, captains of industry here present, and corporate friends of the Nigerian Navy, senior officers, both serving and retired, ladies and gentlemen of the press, good morning. On behalf of the Chief of the Naval Staff, officers, ratings, and civilian staff of Nigerian Navy, I have the privilege to welcome our special guest of honor, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasuru Ahmad El-Rufai, OFR, to the commissioning ceremony of the permanent site of Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology here in Kachia, Kaduna State. In the same vein, I extend a warm welcome to our other distinguished guests, officers, ratings here present. I now most respectfully invite the Chief of the Naval Staff to deliver his welcome address. That will be followed by the issuance of commissioning warrant to the Commandant of the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, the CNSA.
The welcome address will be delivered by the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ikwe Ibas, whose vision is to develop a credible naval power in fulfillment of the Nigerian Navy's constitutional roles towards enhancing national prosperity and security.
Your Excellencies, members of Diplomatic Corps here present, representatives of Chief of Defense Staff and other service chiefs, representative of Inspector General of Police, our former Chief of Defense Staff, particularly Admiral Ogoy and Admiral S. Ibrahim, the former Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral I.I. Ibrahim, Director Navy, Ministry of Defense, the Secretary to Kaduna State Government, and other members of the State Executive Council here present, heads of government, parastatals, and security agencies, principal staff officers from Defense and Services Headquarters, commandants of tri-service institutions, commanders of military formations, Your Royal Highnesses, Royal Fathers here present, captains of industry, and corporate friends of the Nigerian Navy, senior officers both serving and retired, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of officers, ratings, and civilian staff of the Nigerian Navy, it is my great pleasure to warmly welcome all our distinguished guests to the commissioning ceremony of the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology here in Kachia, Kaduna State. I'm particularly honored to have in attendance at this auspicious occasion our esteemed special guest of honor, who is also our de facto host, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai. Your Excellency, we deeply appreciate your acceptance to personally preside over this ceremony, in spite of your very challenging and tight schedule. In the same vein, I most heartily welcome our other equally eminent guests, particularly Senator La and former Chiefs of Defense Staff and Chief of Naval Staff, who have taken time out to be part of this ceremony. I also acknowledge with same gratitude the presence of representatives of service chiefs, retired senior officers, royal fathers, and several other well-wishers who, understandably, I am not able to recognize individually, but nonetheless, deeply appreciate. Your attendance of this event is most reassuring and once more serves a pleasant reaffirmation of your untiring interest in the progress of the Nigerian Navy and desire to see her afforded a deserving operational capacity. The Navy is profoundly indebted for your continued goodwill. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the significance of today's occasion could best be appreciated from its very essence on the core mandate of the Nigerian Navy. Evidently, the Navy's ability to appropriately discharge her statutory mandate is much a function of available quality personnel, which in turn is governed by appropriate training, operational platforms, and other incentives. The Nigerian Navy fully appreciates this and literally views training as our operational lifeblood. This is born out of the consciousness that active training is indispensable to operational effectiveness, professionalism, and manpower development. To this end, the revised Nigerian Navy Transformation Plan 2011-2020 projected for dedicated training centers for various specialized seamen operational training, which were hitherto confined for several years at the Nigerian Navy Ship Quora in Apapa, Lagos. The credit for the initiation of the steps to the realization of the vision to relocate Nigerian Navy's primary surface warfare training school from Lagos to Kachia in Kaduna State should rightly be accorded one of the icons of the Navy and a former Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral I. Ibrahim, retired. This task was, however, made a lot easier by the immense overture of the Nigerian Army, and this occasion is most auspicious to express unreserved gratitude to the Chief of Army Staff and the successive leaderships of the Nigerian Army School of Artillery, who readily offered temporary shelter for the school since 2009. In order not to overprolong this gesture, on my assumption of office in 2015, and as part of my avowed commitment to capacity building in the Nigerian Navy, I made the completion and commissioning of this project one of my cardinal priorities. With due reverence to the Almighty God, it is most heartwarming that a vision which started nearly a decade ago is now in its fruition with the commissioning of this school and other facilities. The school for commissioning today is one of the Nigerian Navy's 4 core seaman professional training schools, initially mandated to train personnel of above water warfare specialty in weapon handling and internal security operations. The school was equally charged with pre-deployment training of personnel earmarked for special operations and missions. With advancement in weapon systems and armament technology, coupled with emerging global leanings towards joint military training and operations, the upgrade of the school and its relocation from Lagos to Kachia gained traction. On the basis of the imperatives of joint operations, the requirement to collaborate with the Nigerian Army School of Artillery also favored the establishment of this school here, as both schools train on similar weapon systems and guns. This move has created the needed synergy with the Army for greater interoperability in any joint effort. The commissioning of this facility today is expected to hasten the attainment of the aspirations of transforming the erstwhile above water warfare school into a center of excellence for specialized training in surface warfare, armament technology, and internal security. Accordingly, this school is expected to boost Nigerian Navy's response capacity to sharpening knowledge of operational concepts and doctrinal practices towards addressing threats in the fifth operational spectrum of the Nigerian Navy Total Spectrum Maritime Strategy. Effective utilization of the potentials of this school in synergy with sister schools like Nigerian Army School of Artillery would further fine-tune and enhance Nigerian Navy's roles in ongoing operational engagements towards addressing the myriad of internal security challenges in the hinterland without losing focus on our primary responsibility of active engagements and defense at sea. The new designation of the school specifically envisages its transformation into a center for research and study in armament technology, in addition to training in deployment and management of armaments. Following the establishment of the Admiralty University of Nigeria, this school is therefore expected to become one of the university's academic faculties for research and production of various forms of armament in the future. To achieve this laudable objective, the project has been developed to meet the school's requirement for administrative, accommodation, and instructional purposes. Provision has also been made for medical and recreational facilities while allowing for future expansions and development. May I, at this juncture, acknowledge that the Nigerian Navy could not have achieved such remarkable accomplishments in its infrastructural development efforts without the infallible support of the federal government. I therefore seize this opportunity to sincerely appreciate Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, for his profound commitment to strengthening the Nigerian Navy to meet her operational and constitutional responsibilities despite other competing demands. Admittedly, within the lifespan of this administration, so much has been achieved in the areas of provision of training needs, fleet renewal, and infrastructure development through Mr. President's unflinching support to the Nigerian Navy. The service is by such tremendous support further rejuvenated towards greater performance in our operational responsibilities. Our gratitude also goes to the special guest of honor for today's occasion, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, and the entire host of the community in Kachia for providing the land for this project. Their remarkable support has contributed significantly towards making this school a reality. The continued support of Kaduna State government to the Navy, including the secondary school, the donation of government secondary school Farakwai to the Navy for conversion into a Nigerian Navy school, is highly appreciated. The Navy is indeed grateful. Let me also spare a word of commendation to the project team. Despite several hiccups during construction, I'm obliged to acknowledge the efforts of the contractors, commend the NN project monitors that work to ensure the faithful completion and delivery of this project. At this juncture, I once again appreciate the effort and contributions of the past chiefs of the naval staff, particularly Admirals O.S. Ibrahim, Admiral Dele Ozoba, and Admiral Usman Jibrin, the flag officers commanding Naval Training Command, including past and present commandants of the school, and indeed everyone that has contributed towards the actualization of this project. May the Almighty God bless and reward you all. We continue to register our indebtedness to Your Excellency and indeed other political leaders for your kind presence and support. Similarly, we appreciate the goodwill of service chiefs and all the special guests and all other guests, as well as the host community here in Kachia. We say thank you very much and pray for journey messages back to your various destinations. Onwards together, and God bless.
May I once again request the Chief of the Naval Staff to please remain and perform the next ceremony, which is reading and handing over of commissioning warrant. We are now for the reading and handing over of the commissioning warrant to the Commandant of the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, Kachia, and this will be done by the commissioning authority, who is the Chief of the Naval Staff. May I request the Commandant to please step forward.
Okay. Commissioning warrant to Rear Admiral Danjuma Megari Doganyaro. The Navy Board has commanded that the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology shall be commissioned under your command for a short training on the 10th day of May 2019, and you are required to implement these orders with dispatch, bringing to my notice immediately any cause for complaint you may have in the school or any part thereof, and in particular, anything affecting the health or welfare of the school's complement, given under my hand this 10th day of May 2019.
Aye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Now to the act of dedication. Officers and ratings of the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, Kachia, saying that in the course of our duty, we are set in the midst of many great dangers, and that we cannot fail to the high trust placed in us. Let us unite in our prayers in seeking God's blessing on all who serve in it, that this school may train under God's good providence and protection, that our work and skill will be for the great glory and protection of the nation. Now, I call upon you to pray for God's blessing on our school. What do you fear, seeing that God is with us? What do you fear? What do you fear, seeing that God bless Kachia?
Which guest has significant of the Nigerian institution. These distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, is hoisted usually as in the ensign commissioning pennant and the flag never to be lowered or very distinguished guests. The ensign is a flag during of long established to show the rank.
Haven't read the issuance and commissioning warrant by the commandant, as well as the act of dedication by the commandant of the School of Armament Technology here in Kachia, talking about Rear Admiral Dogonyaru. We are now witnessing the colors and hoisting of ensign, commissioning pennant, as well as a distinguished flag, which is never to be lowered. This activity signifies the official commencement of this School of Armament Technology in Kachia. The Chief of Naval Staff, with a mission to deploy a naval force that is well trained, organized, and highly motivated to discharge its constitutional roles professionally and efficiently for the defense of Nigeria in ensuring her economic prosperity. Today's activity is part of the fulfillment of this vision and mission, which also involves active training for professionalism.
A reminder to senior officers, please, officers in uniform are requested to salute when the national anthem is played. Thank you.
Yes. Say it. Say it. We can't hear you. Say it there. Okay.
Reminder to senior officers, please, officers in uniform are requested to salute when the national anthem is played. Thank you. May we please take our seats. Thank you. The special guest of honor, sir, very senior officers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is customary to seek for God's guidance, protection, and blessing in all our endeavors. May I now invite the chaplain and the imam to lead us in prayers. The chaplain and the imam.
Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we bless your holy name for making this day a reality. May this institution be used to train personnel for growth and prosperity of our nation, Nigeria. May the purpose of our establishment be accomplished with blessings, favor, protection from God the Father through his Son, Jesus Christ. And may God protect and guide the officers, men, and trainees of the institution through the same Christ our Lord. Amen.
صلوا على الكريم. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, whether she said or be at rest. All thanks and praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We thank you for giving us the great opportunity to witness this commissioning ceremony. It is not our fault. It is only by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless and protect the command, the CNS, the commandant, and the chief company. Ya Allah, you are Al-Majid. You are to answer prayer. Oh Allah, unite our country, unite our nation. Oh Allah, we are facing challenges, security challenges in this country. Oh Allah, secure our country. Bring peace to our country. ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you for the prayers. Your Excellency, sir, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Onward together is a Nigerian Navy slogan, meaning whole but one in all, moving towards a common objective. This simply means from the commandant to the least ordinary seaman on board are fully committed to the mission of the Chief of the Naval Staff, and everybody is relevant. On this note, may I now most respectfully request the Chief of the Naval Staff to invite the special guest of honor to deliver his speech. The CNS, sir.
The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral I.D. Ibas, Distinguished Senator Andrew Mala, representing the Senate Committee on the Navy, former Chief of Defense Staff, my elder brother Admiral Ogoni, former Chief of Naval Staff, our elder Admiral Ibrahim Iko, representative of the Chief of Army Staff, representative of the Chief of Air Staff, senior military officers here present, representatives of the Kaduna State Government, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to adopt the perfect protocol outlined by the Chief of the Naval Staff. I'm delighted to join you this morning for the official inauguration of the permanent site of the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, Kachia. It is an honor to be part of this development that will revolutionize Nigeria's naval activities. I wish to extend our sincere gratitude to the Chief of the Naval Staff for his kind invitation to me to be part of this memorable event. On behalf of the government and good people of Kaduna State, I warmly welcome everyone, particularly our special guests, who have come from various destinations to join us in the actualization of this innovative project after almost a decade at its temporary site. The completion of this permanent site is a clear testimony of the visionary leadership of the Nigerian Navy, and I congratulate the Chief of the Naval Staff, officers and ratings of the Nigerian Navy for their relentless efforts ensuring the completion of this strategic and important institution. We've been informed by the Chief of Naval Staff that this school is an offshoot of the Above Water Warfare School, which was co-located with other naval professional schools at the Nigerian Navy ship Kiora in Lagos, and will provide improved training options and further harness the power modern technology in boosting the capacities of the Nigerian Navy. More than ever before, it is imperative that we continue to explore technological advancements that will improve training and reskilling as we confront an adaptive, ever-changing set of threats. I commend the leadership of the Nigerian Navy for having the foresight to provide institutions that would ensure that we do not get complacent or rest on past achievements in the face of new and constantly evolving threats to our security and well-being. I'm also grateful to the Chief of Naval Staff that Kaduna State was found suitable to host such a strategic training institution. We are very proud of being the center of learning and a state where virtually all the military and training institutions are located. We are grateful to the Navy for sustaining this tradition. I assure you that your judgment was well placed. We have a long history of supporting our gallant military, and I use this opportunity to restate the commitment of the Kaduna State government to providing a conducive environment for the conduct of your operations, including the donation of the former government secondary school Paraguay to the Nigerian Navy for conversion into a Nigerian Navy secondary school in the nearest future. As we open this facility today, it is an honor to be here to personally be a witness to the proceedings. One of the foremost priorities of our administration is the security of lives and property to all residents of Kaduna State. The presence of security installations like this and the presence of heroic military men and women like you further boosts our efforts. I want to particularly recognize and commend the efforts of the Commandant Rear Admiral Dogoyaro and his men and women for helping us ensure peace and security in the southern part of Kaduna State, particularly in this neighborhood. It is my belief that this school will uplift the quality of military training for the officers and ratings of the Nigerian Navy and contribute to peacekeeping efforts within Kaduna and indeed Nigeria. I urge all personnel, particularly the staff and students of the school, to put the facilities into good use and maintain them adequately. This will ensure the maintenance availability of this facility for other brave Nigerians who will answer the call to service. I will need to be trained here. I must commend again the efforts of the Nigerian Navy, the Commandant and personnel of the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology for the zeal and commitment, the patriotic commitment they have shown in discharging the internal security duties assigned to them within Kaduna State and beyond. The courage of your officers, men and women, and the synergy with other security services and agencies has significantly contributed to curbing insecurity in most parts of our state. I also challenge you not to rest on your oars. I urge you to be relentless in the determination to decimate the menace of armed banditry and criminality from Kaduna and other adjoining states. I therefore once again extend our gratitude to the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral I.E. Ibas, for promoting the wherewithal needed, for providing the wherewithal needed to boost the capacity of the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology to contribute meaningfully to the general security of our state. I must also commend our elder brother, Vice Admiral Ibrahim Iko, the former Chief of the Naval Staff, whose vision in conceiving this laudable project made it possible for us to be here today. Double congratulations, Admiral. I assure you all that Kaduna State remains committed to providing any support necessary to enable you attain your constitutional mandate. I pledge the continued support of our administration, the Nigerian Navy, as we collaborate and partner together to improve the security and livelihood of our people. God bless the Nigerian Navy. God bless Kaduna State. and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, and I wish you all a safe return to your various destinations, and as you say in the Nigerian Navy, onward together.
May we please rise for the national anthem.
That was the special guest of honor, Governor Nasiru Ahmed Rufai, pledging support for the Nigerian Navy in Kachia here and nationwide. This is the end of activities from this point. The guests will be led to the admin block, where we are going to be witnessing the unveiling of the plaque, which signifies the official opening of the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology here in Kachia. When fully on stream, the school is expected, in addition to its mandate, is expected to engage in, but not limited to, the following programs on artillery, missiles, electromagnetic, and radar systems. On artillery, the school is expected to embark on analysis and prognostic reports for artillery weapon systems. They are also expected to conduct research and design work on all artillery weapon systems available to the Nigerian Navy, as well as testing and upgrading of artillery weapon systems. They are also engaged in designing and upgrading, as well as testing of artillery ammunition here in Kachia. You will agree with me that Kachia is a home of artillery, and the landmass is about 5.172 kilometers, approximately over 200 hectares. This landmass is large enough to contain all of this testing artillery armory.
Officers in uniform are please requested to salute. Thank you. May we please be seated. I would also want to request that all principal staff officers and retired officers are to participate in the group photograph. Thank you, Your Excellency. This marks the end of the aspect of the commissioning activities of the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, Abuja. The next events are group photographs, commissioning of projects, and a tour of the school by the special guest of honor and other dignitaries.
This is to request principal staff officers of the naval headquarters, as well as all the retired senior officers, to please take their positions for
The Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology will also be engaged in designing and upgrading, as well as testing of artillery ammunition, designing of training ammunition, aerial target imitators, and fuses or fusion for training and service ammunition. Like we heard from the Chief of Naval Staff, the school will also serve as a training ground for capacity building, for research for the newly inaugurated Admiral University. In the aspect of missiles, the school will embark in prognostic report for missile systems in line with development trends, talking about best practices around the world. The school is also engaged in research and development, as well as design work on new development of missile systems for training and practicing, as well as functional and acceptance test of anti-ship as well as anti-surface underwater weapons, as well as weapons systems. In terms of ICT development, the school will also embark on electromagnetic as well as radar systems, talking about noise jammers, Doppler and microwave technology, testing of ground radar stations and operational tactical recognition as well as command systems. You will agree with me that the establishment of such a sensitive naval institute here in Kachia is not only a plus to the Nigerian Navy, but it's not all about the waterways. The school will also engage in testing of ground radar stations as well as operational tactical recognition and command systems. This was not possible before now because the Nigerian School of Armament Technology was being accommodated by the Nigerian Army School of Artillery, and the issue of space for the conduct of all these researches was an issue. But today that we are witnessing the inauguration of their own structure, it is expected that in no time, the school will be able to carry out all of these researches for the benefit of the Nigerian Armed Forces as well as the Nigerian Navy. The school will also be involved in the following activities: scientific research and development work, new designs and upgrading project of weapons as well as weapon systems for prospective clients. So it won't just be for the Nigerian Armed Forces, but prospective clients within and outside the shores of Nigeria. It will also engage in prognostic and expertise reports, as well as functional weapons and ammunition tests for potential customers. This also, they will consider standardization, reconfigurations, as well as unification and harmonization of all weapons systems through advanced engineering. They are also engaged in software manufacturing, as well as modification for command and fire control services. This is to ensure proficiency and accuracy in terms of display of firepower, not just on air, on the land surface, but also in the sea. You also note that the Nigerian Navy is also engaged in the fight in the northeast against insurgency. Right about now, all guests present, principal staff of the armed forces are in front of the admin block. And the admin block here is equipped with a 200-seater auditorium, which is well equipped with state-of-the-art facilities. The admin block here also houses offices and a conference room. It is sitting on a structure. The structure is sitting on about 5.172 kilometers landmass, approximately 200 hectares. Every office here is well furnished to taste with state-of-the-art facilities. Also to be inaugurated today are hostels accommodation for under-training returns. When we say returns in the Nigerian Navy, it is the men. We also have a medical center, which is an advanced sick bay. The advanced sick bay is a 30-bed sick bay equipped with facilities to cater for the health needs of the returns as well as officers. In no time, it will be extended to members of the host community, talking about Kachia and environs. It is a tradition of the Nigerian Armed Forces, particularly the Navy, to ensure that they don't just enjoy their facilities when it comes to medical facilities. They also extend a hand of fellowship to the host communities where families can come in and be attended to medically. It is equipped with a pharmacy. We have the wards for officers and men. Here, Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State is being taken round to see the facilities at this sick bay. Here you can see the pharmacy equipped with all forms of medication. Whatever you need as a personnel health-wise is obtainable in this sick bay. Like I said earlier, it is an advanced sick bay. As you can see, you have the male ward as well as the female ward. We have for officers, and we have for the returns. And this sick bay is manned by experts, talking about medical experts. You have medical doctors, you have the nurses, you have the matrons, you have the pharmacists. And they operate here 24 hours. We will also be witnessing the unveiling as well as inauguration of accommodation for the medical workers here, as well as officers and men, which is all scattered in this 5.72 kilometers landmass. It's a 200 hectares landmass. There is an ambulance for emergency response. That is one of the two available. The underwritten accommodation here has 40 rooms. You have 8 people per room. You might say it's too much, but the rooms are large enough to contain 8 persons. It is a 4 by 35 square meters. You will agree with me, is enough space. The 40 rooms are well furnished with it's a comfortable accommodation. This structure is attached to all-round power supply, courtesy solar generated energy. The cooling systems are functional, as well as the mattresses are so comfortable. Aside the hostels accommodation for the underratings, we also have that of the officers. For the officers, they have 36 rooms, and they have one per room, measuring 9 square meter space. All of this is to guarantee comfort for the officers while they embark on trainings. The Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology is also equipped to accommodate not just officers and men from the school here, but also sister agencies who have need to come here for research. There is also extra accommodation for their comfort in-house. This is also to guarantee security. Like I said, the Nigerian Army School of Armament Technology is situated just next to the Nigerian Army School of Artillery. Both schools perform almost same functions, talking about armament technology and artillery. And the landmass here accommodates both forces to embark on research and testing of their weapons. You will agree with me that Kachia has grown to become the powerhouse of Nigerian armed forces. The Nigerian Navy is blessed with platforms that are renowned in the world. Its armory is next to none. The Nigerian Navy can boast of its weapons, one of which is the MLEG 330mm twin barrel gun. It has a maximum range of 3,100 meters when shot in the air. It also has 6,000 meter distance when shot on the surface, with maximum magazine of 1,970 rounds. Other weapons in the armory is a 12.7 mm gun with a rate of fire of 600 rounds per minute. You will agree with me if you know what guns are. This is massive. We have a maximum range of 187 meters. Another weapon in the armory of the Nigerian Navy is the Olicon 20mm gun, which has 900 rounds per minute. It can be shot as far as 7,000 meters on surface, while it can also go as far as 5,500 when shot in the air. Another weapon, I'll call it weapon of mass destruction, is the Breda Bofo. It is a 70mm naval gun. It has a naval mounting. It has 300 rounds. It can go 300 rounds, capacity of 300 rounds per minute. And it can go as far as 4,900 meters in the air, as well as 10,000 meters on the surface, with a total of 736 rounds. You will agree with me, the Nigerian Navy is well equipped to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria's water space. Part of structures to be commissioned today or inaugurated today is a computer center, an ICT center. Before then, you see facilities for cadets, well-equipped kitchens, for cooking. It's for complete comfort of the officers and men. All of it state-of-the-art standard. The Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology, as we heard earlier on, is an offshoot of the above welfare school, which was an integral part of the Nigerian Navy ship Kora, the cradle of professional naval training located in Lagos. The school is now redesigned and relocated to Kachia, and that was done in 2009. And today we are witnessing the formal inauguration of such a feat. Here you also have the tailoring shop, where all the uniforms to be worn by personnel are produced in-house. This is to guarantee security, as today we witness proliferation of uniforms sewn and being used by criminals around the country. The school here has all-round 24-hour power, which is supported by solar. This is one of the guns that the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, is so very proud of. It is mounted right in front of the entrance of the school. It is to showcase the might of the Nigerian Navy. It is the Otomera 127 meter. It has 43 rounds per minute. It can go 7,200 meters on air, 21,000 meters on the surface. The structure here also houses an ICT resource center. The center is a 40 computer ICT lab. It has 11 classrooms and offices, all furnished to taste. The ICT center here has complete features, and functionality here include the ICT training computer-based testing, CBT, which we are going to see shortly, the computers on display. All of this is aimed at fulfilling the mission of the Chief of Naval Staff, which is to deploy a naval force that is well trained, organized, and highly motivated to discharge its constitutional roles. You will agree with me that with the provision of the state-of-the-art facilities for their comfort and proficiency, much is expected from the officers and men going forward. And today's activity is actually an evidence to that feat. Present here at the inauguration, we have former Chief of Naval Staffs whom have contributed to this point. We have the former Chief Ezioba, Iko Ibrahim, Ola Saad Ibrahim, all present to see that project that they have contributed to at one point or the other. This block has 11 classrooms and offices block. They're well furnished to taste. The chairs are comfortable for learning, and each class can accommodate up to 100 students. It is equipped with a cooling system and a restroom, which naval officers and men call the heads. That is their own slang for it. This particular block is internet connected with the VSAT. It is also solar powered with hybrid inverters that can switch between power sources subject to the choice of the operator at any point in time. And these classrooms are also equipped with interaction TV boards where one can control a computer being used for illustration using a special marker. This is all aimed at proficiency of the Nigerian Navy. This is also on display one of the naval ships. The Nigerian Navy, you agree with me, is also endowed and equipped with efficient platforms, one of which is NNS Karadua. It is built in Nigeria and was commissioned in 2016. It is equipped with 3 variant guns. It has 3 different guns that perform 3 different functions. This is the Dalikon 20mm gun. The Dalikon has 900 rounds. It can go 900 rounds per minute, 7,000 meters when shot on the surface, and 5,500 when shot in the air. This room is basically for training, for shooting. This is automated. When you shoot at the center, that is the bull's eye, the system collapses, and there automatically you get your grading. This is also one of the Nigerian Navy's ship F-89. It is one of those rare platforms that has been kept on the sea in Lagos to ensure the safety of Nigeria's waters against piracy and any foreign invaders through the waterways. These are different forms of the ammunition that you have here, different rates, different ratings, the meters for all the guns that are being used. Here also you see some of the missiles on display at the School of Armament Technology. You will agree with me that with this on display, the Nigerian Navy is equipped at any point in time to ensure that Nigeria is safe. And part of the missiles technology research which the school will be conducting is the prognostic report for missile systems in line with development trends. All of these offices are connected to the computer. And this ICT center, a 40 computer ICT lab, is connected to the internet through VSAT. The functionality and the features in this ICT center include they will be embarking on ICT training for personnel. They can also conduct computer-based tests, talking about the CBT test for personnel, where questions will be set in-house using the locally controlled server. The personnel will answer the questions, the markings will be made, the ratings will be done, and results immediately announced within very, very limited time. The CBT center, like I said, is solar powered with hybrid inverters that can switch between power sources subject to the choice of the operator. The ICT center here is also a resource for research via the e-library. The sources are enormous. Here they have access to research through the e-library, and it is solar powered. This ICT center is also equipped with VSAT. It is also controlled to avoid restricted and sensitive information getting out to the world. This expanse of land, like I said earlier, sits on a 5.72 kilometers landmass, approximately 200 hectares, with an admin block that houses offices, conference room, a 200-seater auditorium that is well equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, as well as the hostels that we saw earlier on. The hostels amount to 40 rooms. With me here, I have the Director of Information of the Nigerian Navy, S. Dahun. Sir, with what we've seen here today, is the Nigerian Navy ready to carry out its constitutional mandate as expected?
Thank you very much, my dear mate. The ceremony you've just witnessed today is an attestation to the commitment of the leadership of the Nigerian Navy towards capacity building. As they say, the more you sweat in peacetime, the less you bleed in war. Over time, it has been the cardinal policy of the Nigerian Navy to emphasize capacity building. Indeed, as the incumbent chief of the naval staff has repeatedly insisted, he says the best welfare you will give to a man is training and capacity building. Under the leadership of the chief of the naval staff, Vice Admiral Ibas, we have seen how the Navy has operated increasingly outside her traditional areas of responsibility. You are aware that the Nigerian Navy, in compliance with the directive of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, has established a base at Baga in Lake Chad, NOP Lake Chad. In the next 2 weeks or thereabout, we shall also be witnessing another historic landmark, which is going to be the commissioning of the base in Lokoja, otherwise known as NNS Lugard. Thank you.
Okay, the Nigerian Navy is seen to name some of its platforms with indigenous names. What is the secret to this?
The Navy you are seeing today is the handiwork of several individuals, indigenous Nigerians, who have contributed their quota to the growth and development of your Navy. It is only fitting, my dear viewers, that we immortalize these icons by naming some of our establishments after these distinguished individuals. This practice is not only restricted to the Nigerian Navy or the Nigerian Armed Forces in general. The world over, you could recall in the US Navy, there are some aircraft carriers that are named after national icons. You are aware of USS Ronald Reagan. So it's a global tradition. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That was the Director of Information. The event is winding down, and what we have is a celebration of some of the platforms being displayed by the Nigerian Navy. This is a 200-seater capacity auditorium. This is aimed at creating comfort for the officers and men. The hostel accommodation here also has 40 rooms. This is part of a mini armory where rifles AK-47, AK-49 are being maintained. They are being maintained by the same gunners that handle some of these facilities and the weapons in the armory. Summarily, this structure sits on 572 kilometers landmass, approximately 200 hectares. You will agree with me that at this point, the Nigerian Navy School of Armament Technology is up to perform all that is needed. At this point, we call it a wrap from here in Kachia, as we hand you over to the studios for the continuation of programming on the network service of the NTA. On behalf of the crew, the production crew,